Hey everyone, this is Kennan with One for the World HQ, and in this video, Evan and I will demonstrate how to make the One for the World pitch virtually and how to deal with some common objections.
Hey, Evan, how are you doing?
I'm well, Kennan. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not doing too bad. The quarantine hair is getting a little out of control. I see you have yours slightly in better shape, so maybe I can take some notes from you on that.
I think it looks great. I think it looks great. How are classes going for you so far?
Yeah, they're not bad. It's been a little weird doing the fully virtual thing, but I sort of got the swing of it from last semester, and it's nice to have the flexibility. Although I do miss annoying my professors at the end of classes.
Yeah, same. Definitely taking some getting used to, but I think I'm getting into the swing of things for sure.
Cool. Well, look, thanks for getting on the call with me today. I know you attended one of our giving lunches last week with one of my co-presidents. I'm really curious to hear about your experience with that. And I just want to put this caveat out there. I will ask you to, if you're willing to take the One for the World pledge today. So let it marinate, think about it a little bit, keep it in the back of your mind. You won't be caught totally unawares when I ask you. But first, I just love to hear, what did you think of the giving lunch? How was that experience? Did it expose you to anything new or anything you want to push back on? I'm really curious to hear.
Yeah, and just to address the pledge thing, like I had a feeling that this might be a discussion about taking the pledge. And yeah, I don't know if I'm ready to like take the pledge or anything, but I think One for the World's pretty cool. Yeah, I attended one of the speaker events with that guy Josh, and just him talking about like what it's like living in extreme poverty. I was like, yeah, this is definitely something that I should care about. So I signed up for the giving lunch. To be honest, I didn't really interact much at the giving lunch. Like I didn't ask any questions, but I did think like the effective giving approach seemed like it makes sense. It's rational, right? Like data, transparency, it makes sense. I guess my one thought about, and this is just like one of the two things I kind of had a question about, was it seemed very rational, but not always in the best way. It seemed a little cold and calculated. And when I just think about like giving for me, I haven't obviously done much, but giving for my family, it's mostly been like at home, right? Like in my either direct community or just in the US generally. And I think like when I'm thinking about COVID, and kind of the resulting recession, like I'm thinking about I'm from Philly, like how hard Philly is going to be hit. And like, shouldn't my dollars kind of go there first? And like, and you think about COVID, you can also think about racial injustice. Like there's things going on in the US that I feel like I should turn my attention to first. Yeah, I don't know if that made any sense, but.
Yeah, no, look, that's a great concern, and to be honest with you, that was the concern I had when I first heard about One for the World. I come from a really low-income neighborhood in New Jersey, and I watched my friends suffer some really bad life outcomes, dropping out of high school, going to prison because of circumstances largely beyond their control. So I definitely feel a strong drive to, give back to the communities that I've been a part of too. And not just those across the world. I'm definitely wary of sort of neglecting the problems at home. But, the way I see it is, what I find compelling about One for the World is it allows me essentially to do both, right? The 1% pledge is nice because, I don't start donating until I'm actually ready to donate. And, American households making over 100K donate almost 3% of their income. So when I picture, my future giving and sort of the altruistic activity, I picture it taking place along a number of different vectors, right? Whether that's volunteering in person with some sort of student mentoring that I've become interested in, or giving to local racial justice organizations or COVID relief. I see those all as part of, the values that I hold and the kind of impact I'd like to have. But at the same time, I'm pretty convinced by the logic that, if for a given dollar, I can help, for example, 2 children get a deworming treatment, that's not a bad use of that dollar, right? And the fact that the dollar, I know you described it as being a sort of cold and calculating, and I definitely felt that when I first got involved and heard words like marginal impact that I had never heard in the context of, doing good and helping people. But what those, sort of highly cost-effective numbers and logic sort of mean, or what maybe they obscure, is the fact that, people are living in really destitute situations that I could never imagine. I mean, I've never had to worry about going to sleep and waking up in the morning to find out that my kid has malaria, or my child suffering from early childhood blindness because of a lack of vitamin A supplementation. And you're absolutely right that there are incredibly pressing problems here at home too. But the power of One for the World, and the thing that I appreciate about the pledge, is it gives me a way to have a massive impact in the lives of people who are really, really suffering in a way that I can't imagine, all the way across the world, and sort of make a statement of solidarity that I see them, and I'm willing to help support them, while still, being part of the solution here at home, and doing what I can, both with my time and with, my currently scarce, hopefully less scarce in the future, dollars, to try to help out here at home too.
Oh, okay. That makes a ton of sense. I thought it was more like an either or situation. Like, if I gave to One for the World, I would like have to give all my money to the charities that One for the World supports, or like all of my donations. But yeah, that sounds entirely reasonable. And like, I was totally sold by the effectiveness stuff at the giving lunch about, I think it was called the Against Malaria Foundation, like for $2, and I didn't know malaria was such a problem. So I love the effectiveness part. But yeah, I guess that's not an either or. Yeah, I mean, this sounds really cool. The main thing basically is that, like, look, it's a global pandemic. We're not even in school really right now. I don't even know what I'm doing next summer, right? Like, we're juniors. I don't even know what I'm doing this summer, let alone like the fall of 2022. So taking a pledge now just seems, and like, pandemic, global recession, like, we have no idea what's going on. So like, while I support One for the World, like, I feel like I should just take the pledge like next December, when I like have a job after recruiting, after the internship, blah, blah, blah,
Right. Yeah, no, I totally hear you. And I mean, I have the sort of same outlook when, I know you've seen the people walking down the street, trying to, solicit donations for, various climate change orgs or something like that. I don't have the money now. In fact, my income's negative. And so far, no one's been interested in 1% of my student loans, although that won't stop me from trying. But, the thing that I really value about One for the World, one of the things is the platform so flexible, right? So on our donation portal, you can sign up for a recurring donation to our charities of your choice, or our sort of custom portfolio that we manage a little more actively. And you set the start date, right? So it's entirely in the user's control. And I know the people at One for the World, the central organization, have done everything they can to sort of take the risk out of it all. So you set the start date. You can log in at any time and edit the start date, edit the donation amount. And if at any point, like when I first joined, I accidentally set the start date to tomorrow. Obviously, I didn't have that money tomorrow. So I reached out to them. They refunded me, and they updated the start date with the parameters I'd asked for. So they were super helpful, and they've even gone so far as to give a guarantee that if you have a donation process without you realizing that it happens, they send a sort of a cadence of emails before we actually start donating, talking about the impact and the recipients. If you miss those, and $50 comes flying out of your bank account without you noticing, or without you being prepared for it, all you have to do is reach out to them, and the co-founder Josh, whom you met at the speaker event, will personally refund you. So there are no tricks. It's not a trap. It's not designed to sort of fool people into giving or something. The idea is actually just to make it as easy as possible, and really leave it under your control. And if you just let me be a little more long-winded here, like the character flaw of mine, I think that, I've been doing this for a little while, and the moment someone walks away from the table when we're doing this in person, or, hangs up when we're doing this virtually, the probability of their taking the pledge drops to almost nothing. And I mean, it's sort of a principle from when I used to work in sales, right? If the person doesn't actually buy the thing or complete the order when they're with you, they're probably not going to. And so if you think this is a good idea and you buy into this logic, taking the pledge now not only ensures that you're in a position to take advantage of this incredible opportunity to make a profound difference in the lives of people who are really suffering halfway across the world, but you're also going to sort of signal to our peers that more and more Columbia students are willing to do this, and more of us are concerned about the state of the world and interested in pragmatic solutions and dedicated to leaving a positive mark on the world around us. So I totally hear you, and I have the same uncertainty. And the great gamble we've taken is that hopefully in 2 years' time we'll both have a job. Fingers crossed. But that's a gamble I'm already willing to take. I'm already 2 years into it, and I sort of knew that if I didn't get involved, it would fall to the bottom of my list, like a million other things have, and I'd go back to my dorm and I'd forget all about it. So, if you think it's a good idea, I think you should take the pledge today.
Yeah, no, that one made sense. I was wondering, Josh on the speaker event thing was like, and there's the Josh McCann guarantee, and I was like, what is it? So that makes sense. That's cool. Like there's kind of that insurance and safety net. And yeah, I was gonna be like, I'll take it. I will. But do you want me to take it like now on the call?
Oh yeah. So what I'd love to do is walk you through. I'll screen share with you. Or I'll send you the link and have you pull it up, and you share your screen with me, and I'll just walk you through the checkout process. It's super easy, but I'm glad to be on hand to make sure I can answer any questions and sort of walk you through it. What do you think? Do you want to do this?
Yeah. Why not? And to be clear, like if in 2 years for whatever reason, like I'm just, I don't have a job, I'm not like legally obligated to follow through with this or anything.
Nope, it's like any sort of subscription service or recurring donation. You cancel it when you want to cancel it, and that's it. And like I said, you'll get a series of emails leading up to your start date to constantly remind you, not only of the impact that you're going to have, but of the fact that you signed up for a payment starting soon. So again, no tricks, no traps. This is designed to be as user-friendly as possible and as flexible as possible for you too. So no, we're not going to come after you with the law if you decide to cancel.
All right. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. So I'm sending you the link in the chat.
Okay.
And if you want to just share your screen with me, I can walk you through the process of checking out.
And what is your cut on this? Like, what does One for the World?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Right to me.
Oh, you did all of it? Okay.
Yeah. No, that's a funny joke. Ha ha ha. So One for the World doesn't take any of the money. They pass it right to the partner charities that we work with. There is a 1% fee for the donor advised fund that we use to disperse the money. And there is a variable fee depending on the type of payment you use. So for something like an Amex, it's a little higher. For other kinds of cards, it's a little lower. Generally, it comes out to something about 3.5% of the total donation. So they're able to send something between, 95 and 97% of the donation directly to the charities. Where One for the World is actually funded by an independent grant specifically for their operating costs, and fundraises for that independently. This is what I do. What I've pledged to do is just all about supporting the recipients and supporting the charities.
That's awesome. I was mostly kidding, but that's that's really good to know. Cool. Is this the right page?
This is the right page. So this first screen will let you choose your portfolio.
Okay.
Now you can pick one of our top charities. Yeah, I know you mentioned AMF.
Yeah. So do I do that one or what, the top picks? Should I do that one?
Yeah, so I pledged the top picks. I definitely recommend that because One for the World will dynamically update it as new research comes out about the most effective orgs. And it gives you a nice spread across 5 different organizations working on different cause areas. If you choose AMF, we'll continue to process your donations to AMF, Against Malaria Foundation. But, we won't change you over in the event that, it turns out something else is more cost effective. So I like the top picks because it's dynamic and it's sort of actively managed.
No, that makes total sense. Okay, first name, last name. And then email. Should I use my school email or my personal email?
I'd use a personal one. Oftentimes schools cut off access to school emails after you graduate. And if there's ever any issue about with your pledge or with your payment or something, and to get impact reporting, we need a good email.
Okay, cool. So 54 is 1%.
Yeah, so that's 1% of the average Columbia graduating salary. Now, if it turns out that you're going to go into a high earning field, you can increase the amount. I would encourage you to increase the amount. I plan to if I get my dream job at McKinsey. But in the event that I don't, I will probably keep it at that 1% and modify it as my earnings grow.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, obviously we're both doing econ, and 54 sounds good because if I'm doing economic research, that's great. If I get investment banking at Goldman, then great. I'll up it. Cool.
Cool. So before you hit, can you go back to the previous screen?
Yeah.
So do you see where it says monthly starting today?
Oh yeah.
Today. Yeah. It's the same thing I did when I first checked out. So I would recommend, we're juniors, so class of 2022. I set mine to start September 2022.
Cool.
Give yourself the summer, travel, do whatever, try to find a job if we don't have it yet, and then start donating when you're ready. Yeah. Cool. So you can choose there. Yeah, totally up to you. You can choose there to donate some portion of your donation to One for the World's operating costs.
Okay.
And here you'll put in your card number. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this is like, do you mind if I stop sharing my screen?
Yeah, please.
Sorry. I trust you, Kennan.
Well, you
shouldn't. Card holder name is Evan McVale. Who will steal my ad?
Yeah, so the payment platform we use, they use Stripe to process the payments, which is super secure. It's used by Lyft. It's used by a bunch of big name corporations. So all your data is totally secure, and I can't access it, luckily for you.
Great. And then the last page.
Just some communications preferences. Pretty straightforward. How you'd like to get us to get in touch with you, what chapter you're at, so you can choose Columbia.
I wish Villanova. I always wanted to go there, but yeah, Columbia.
Yeah, I didn't get in either.
2022. What's GiveWell?
So GiveWell is the charity evaluator whose research we use, and they're also our major funder. And if you're interested in more communication from them, more on sort of the research side of giving opportunities, you can say yes. It's totally up to you.
Yeah. That's. Were you familiar with the? No. I was gonna get 0. And then just donate.
And then you hit donate. So it should, as long as beautiful. So here you can use the screen later to see if you're wherever you end up working will double the donation, which is a really or match it to some extent, which is a great way to expand your impact. And you can also use this screen, I believe, if you scroll down a little bit.
Okay.
You can use this screen if you hit share your good deed.
Okay.
To generate an impact report. So if you put the $54 monthly donation in the text box there, through the top picks, 54 and hit enter, I think should do it. Great. So it comes out to like 3 cups of coffee a week, assuming it costs about $4 for a cup of coffee. And this is the cumulative impact you'll have every year through your donation. So 19 of those bed nets, which protect almost 2 people each, 19 anti-malaria treatments, 30 bed nets, on and on and on. I mean, these numbers are really profound, and you'll get them in future impact reporting too. So if you're interested, share this. Share it on Instagram. You can tag me if you want, as the annoying guy who wouldn't leave you alone until you took the pledge.
Yeah, no, this sounds awesome. I'll definitely share it.
There's a download button. You can save it as an image if you want to.
Okay, I was gonna say that looked a little confusing. Cool. This is awesome. Cool. Is there anything else or?
You want to give me 1% of your income? No? Okay, worth a try.
No. I think we'll start with 1% to One for the World, and then we'll go from there. This sounds super cool. And I guess one other question I did have is like, I'm super pumped to make the pledge now. Is it like I'm done? Like I don't talk to One for the World anymore, or?
So we'll send you content. The One for the World HQ sends a monthly newsletter to pledges, and you'll also get prospective impact reports 4 times a year, saying, reminding you what sort of the impact will be and highlighting a different recipient. But come get involved with the chapter on campus. We put on speaker events throughout the year. We host some social events with other sort of impact-focused clubs, and we just have a blast spreading the good word on campus. So, we're having an info session next Wednesday at 8. So if you want to, come down to the Student Center, and I'd love to see you there, and you can learn a little more about how to get involved. And maybe someday you'll be in my position badgering some poor fellow student about joining the cause. That would make me really happy.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. Cool. All right, I gotta hop for macro, but I'm glad we got to chat, and I'm really excited about this. And I'll just ping you if I have any other questions.
Yeah, please do. And hopefully I see you at the info session on Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, 8 o'clock.
Evan, thanks so much. I'm really, really pleased that you got on the call and that you took the step with me. I know it's weird in a time of uncertainty, but to me, it feels especially important in uncertain times to support people in even more dire straits. So thanks. Thank you for getting involved with us. And thanks for taking the pledge.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. All right.
I'll see you, macro. Bye-bye.
See you.